car safety, getting in, getting out, what to do with your other kids while you're buckling some in, safely getting through the parking lot, making sure your child doesn't bolt and run off. All of those questions and more we are answering in today's video. Hey guys, what is up? I'm Carnahan from the Carnahan fam. On our channel, we talk about all things family, learning, motherhood, and we're so excited to have you guys here. So if you're not already subscribed to our channel, consider hitting that subscribe button, maybe even giving a little love tap on the like button, and find us on Instagram. We've got so much more content going out daily on there as well. If you know our family, you know we like to go out every single day. With my 1 and 2-year-olds, Christian and Ainsley, and a couple months ago, I asked you guys what questions you have about taking your toddlers out of the house, and today we are answering those questions. Without further ado, let's get started. Okay, I have to preface this by saying we actually recorded the outing with this video a good month and a half ago when I was still pregnant, and I went ahead and brought my husband Quinn along with me to just be our cameraman, because I can't exactly do what I do with my kids and make sure it's a safe experience getting in and out of the car with 2 toddlers and one hand and one tied up on a camera. So obviously I've had the baby now and our car looks a little different than what you'll see in this footage here. And if you want another video on how we're doing this with 3, I can definitely make that for you. Just let me know in the comments below. But for the sake of this video, we're only talking about the 2 toddlers, not with the addition of the new baby. Let's get to it. All right, first and foremost, you need to know when you're looking at this footage, my children have lots and lots and lots and lots of practice being consistent and meeting the expectation of our rules for going out and about. We've been practicing these out and about rules with our kids nearly every single day since they could walk. So Christian's got almost 2 solid years of practice in this, and Ainsley's got about, I don't know, 8 months or so. So it didn't always look as good as it does now, but with consistency and repetition, your toddler can get there too. All right, let's go, kidlets. Awesome, awesome, climb on in. All right, we are headed out to the car, and first and foremost, the kids are gonna walk themselves there so they have every opportunity to be as independent as they possibly can. And we do this from the beginning, since the time they can walk, even still when they're a little bit wobbly, for many reasons. Number 1, when we give our kids the chance to be more independent, they have a little bit more control over themselves. I mean, something even as simple as the pace they walk at, whether they get to stop and put their hands in the dirt on the way to the car, or bend over and pick up a rock. These are the decisions that they get to make for themselves on the way out to the car. So while yes, it's generally more convenient to just carry your kid there and buckle them right into their straps, think of your whole day as an opportunity to give your child as much independence as possible, because there are gonna be moments where you're gonna be the one that has to make the decisions, such as in the parking lot when the environment isn't as safe. So giving them the opportunity to make the choices for themselves in a safe environment will lead to less power struggles throughout the day. And this plays right into the other reason why the kids are gonna walk themselves to the car. When we are in the privacy of our own driveway, for the most part, it's a really controlled environment. So we can practice going out to the car and practice all of those safety routines without the hazard of other cars in the parking lot or strangers around us or anything else that comes with being out in public. So we're gonna front load our outing experience with a positive experience, getting to the car, allowing a little bit of freedom, and practicing getting there in a way that's safe in an environment that is more conducive to that. Okay, that was just a really long way of saying just let your kids walk to the car. It's a little thing, but it makes a big impact. And if you want some more tips on raising an independent toddler, we actually have two whole vlogs on raising an independent toddler. And we've got to have a lot of independence here with 3 kids under 3. I'll link those videos in the description below so you can check those out after this. All right, now when you get to the car, the first rule is you get in the car and you get in your seat. wait for mom to come buckle you in your seat. You'll see here in a hot second, Ainsley actually goes for a bag of pretzels, and I'm there reiterating the rule. Yes, you can have pretzels after we get our buckles on. In our car seats first. I know you want a cracker. Or you want a pretzel.
Yeah.
You can have a pretzel after we buckle. Buckles first. Buckles first, then pretzel. Ooh, thanks for being my helper. Yes, let me buckle in bro first. Did you want to do the top buckle today?
No, thank you.
Ooh, good words. There you go. All right, let's go.
Yes, yes.
So I'll buckle up one of the toddlers, and then I'll go and buckle the other toddler, and then meet their needs. Did they want their water cup, or did they want their blanket, or did they want pretzels? And then I manually lock the doors as I close them before I go around to the driver's seat. And that is just to make sure that the doors are secure and closed as I'm making my way to the front of the car. All right, now let's talk about how to get the kids safely unloaded from the car. For example, like if you're getting ready to go into the grocery store. So the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna unbuckle both the toddlers. But our next rule is their feet stay in the car until they get permission from me to get out. So if I unbuckle Christian and I'm working on unbuckling Ainsley and he jumps out of his seat, he knows not to step his feet out of the car until I've given him permission to do so. Who's ready to go shopping? Ready to go shopping, bud?
Yeah.
When I give them permission to get out of the car, I will give them one of two instructions. I'll either say, all right, hold my hand and hop on down. Or I say, all right, hop on down and touch the car. You are either always holding a hand or touching the car. Their hand has to be in contact with something that is safe. And I do this for multiple reasons. Number one, if their hand is either holding mine or touching the car, there is physical contact being made with that child at all times. I know exactly where they are, and it's the safest bet that number two, they're in close enough proximity that they're not gonna be hit by another car in a parking lot, or heaven forbid, they're not close enough to someone else or someone else's car that they could be snatched up. Hop on down. All right, touch the car while I close the door, please. Touch the car. Thank you. All right, let's go. We're in a parking lot. You got to. All right, now that those kids are out of the car, let's talk about the dreaded bolting. It's a horribly unsafe impulse that so many toddlers have. But I'll tell you one thing, consistency and repetition and having your child get out of the car and putting their hand straight on the car or holding yours, just having that pattern and that routine will help immensely with the bolting. Look who woke up and came to join us. Say hi, Ruby. Ruby's awake a little bit earlier than I expected her to be, so she's gonna eat while we finish talking about car safety. Huh, Rubes? All right, back to what we were talking about. To be honest, our toddlers, both Christian and Ainsley, only tried bolting a handful of times as they were just learning the expectation of putting your hand on the car and keeping it there until mom took you by the hand to walk into the store. In general, we follow a pretty positive parenting model in our house, but it's in situations such as bolting where my children will probably hear the sternest version of their mom. And that is because it is such a safety hazard to have a 1 or 2-year-old aimlessly running through a parking lot. My 2-year-old hasn't bolted in a long time, so if he were to take his hand off the car, he would get a polite reminder, oh, your hand stays on the car. But when they are just learning to keep their hand on the car, I'm gonna be a little bit more stern with them so they know how seriously I take this safety concern. So in the recent months when Ainsley has been learning to keep her hand on the car, when she goes to take it off, she got a little bit more of a stop. Your hand goes on the car. And honestly, it's really intentional. With just the consistency and repetition of practicing it over and over and over again, I've only had to use that sharp tone a handful of times, and I've never had to chase one of the toddlers. But like I said before, these skills come with practice. Lots and lots of practice. of the car when we're walking through the parking lot. Sometimes I'll carry my 1-year-old through the parking lot. Sometimes I'll let them walk, and if possible, I'll even just put them in a cart before we go in if we're at like a grocery store. Speaking of carts, this is one of my absolute favorite tips if you are going to be going to a grocery store, and that is parking next to a grocery cart return thing. You don't need the closest parking spot. You need one that is close to a cart return, because when you park next to a cart return, that means you can have a cart pushing your kids on the way in, and then you can be close enough to the cart return that you can return it at the end without having to leave your kids in the car. Out of the store, we're gonna put the kids in the car very first thing. So I'm gonna load all of the kids into the car before even buckling anyone in, and surely before putting anything into the car. In the car, in their seatbelts, is going to be the safest place for them. So first priority is loading everyone into the car, and then second priority is getting them buckled in, and third priority is getting everything else into the car as well. All right, I think that about covers everything I wanted to cover with taking your toddlers out and car safety and bolting and everything in between. I hope some of these things can give you the confidence that you need to get out there and take your toddlers out in the world. So if you have any other questions about getting your toddlers safely in and out of the car when you're out and about, drop them in the comments below. We'll be sure to answer as many questions as we can. Be sure to tune in on Friday, where we extend this a little bit to flying with the toddlers all by myself. All right?
Be safe. Thanks to Zuna. Until next time.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Maybe we can push it with your toes. Has anyone seen Ainsley? Oh. Ah, boo! Ah! There she is!